What if I told you you could build your dream app, website, or game efficiently and affordably because you already speak the programming language? Brace yourself, because building software has never been easier with vibe coding. Hey friends, I'm Tasia Custode, and this is your vibe coding tutorial for beginners. So what is vibe coding? Vibe coding is when you create a software, so think computer code, simply by prompting your AI assistant. You simply describe what you want in natural language prompt without having to write any code. Your AI assistant builds it, and you can test it and iterate it as you wish, simply by adjusting your instructions. Yes, really. Suddenly building an app, website, or game became a whole lot more attainable for us non-coders. And when you're getting started with vibe coding, there is a whole plethora of tools you could choose from ChatGPT to Gemini to Google AI Studio to Claude Cowork to Base 44 and a whole whack more. But depending on the platform of choice, you might have some constraints. ChatGPT, for example, is pretty limited, at least as of right now, to basic applications. Whereas if you want to do something maybe a little more complex, you might want to use Base 44 and even Google AI Studio. So let's dive into 3 vibe coding examples, and I'm going to use both Google AI Studio and Gemini for this, but remember, you can use your platform of choice. These examples are here to serve merely as inspiration for your vibe coding, regardless of the tool you're using. We're going to start in Google AI Studio at aistudio.google.com for our first example because their free tiers are quite robust. Google AI Studio is essentially Google's one-stop shop for vibe coding. From here, you can click on Build in the left side gallery. All we have to do here is describe an app and let Gemini do the rest. Now, if you're new to the vibe coding space, you don't need to be robust here. You literally can get started with a simple sentence describing your idea. So as an example, build me a 2D top-down playable air hockey style hockey game. We're going to click on build and Gemini is going to get to work. So depending on what you're building, this can take 1 minute to 3 minutes generally, but here's the first result. It's built a neon air hockey game. It shows me the key features and technical details, and I can click start to play a preview of the game right away. It's pretty cool. And of course, we can ask for iterations. So I'm a big Montreal Canadiens fan. Go Habs go. So down here in the bottom left, I'm gonna ask it to change the colors to Montreal Canadiens colors. Okay, and indeed, not only has it done that for me, but it's changed the name as well to Canadiens Hockey. I just love this. I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit here on my screen so we can see the whole game and play it. Now, by the way, for visibility for the screencast, I put this yellow highlight on my cursor, so that's not an actual color in the game, in case you were wondering. And in Google AI Studio, you can share or publish your game in the top right. And by the way, your creations are saved for you in the Your Apps section of Google AI Studio. That's how easy it is to code a game, and coding an app works the same way. This time, maybe I'm gonna ask to build a custom travel planner app for Florence, Italy, based on my preferred spots in and around the city and any other top recommendations for things to do and places to visit. Now, I've sped this up a little bit again, but wow, 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 will you look at this? It's built a Firenze Voyager app for me. There are even 2 tabs automatically created, a Discover tab where I can search for exactly what I'm looking for, and then an Itinerary tab where my saved spots are going to be. Holy moly. And by the way, you can toggle between views up at the top as well. Since this is an app, I'm going to use it on the go. When in Florence, I can toggle to mobile view and get an idea of what it's going to look like. Can you believe all of this was created from a natural language prompt in under 2 minutes flat? Vibe coding for the win. Now for our final example of vibe coding a website, let's switch over to Gemini so you can see what that would look like within Gemini itself. In Gemini, we're going to use our tools toggle to switch to canvas. Now let's add our prompt. For this, I'd like to see if Gemini can build me a travel website for my Australian travels, featuring Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Port Douglas, the Whitsundays, and Brisbane adventures. The landing page should feature a nice background image of the Whitsundays, and each destination should be its own section of the website. And sped this up a bit, but here's the result. Okay, so it did not give me the video behind the landing page, which is fine because I didn't specify what I wanted to create. But let's scroll down, and sure enough, it's added all the sections I requested. Now it is missing some images, This could be just a loading issue, but remember, it's okay because we can iterate and we could ask for anything we need. So I'm gonna click the plus symbol. I'm gonna add some photos directly from my Google Photos of Australia. And then I'm gonna ask Gemini to add them to the website. Now, other things you could do at any time, if you do happen to know code, you could toggle to the code layout and adjust any code directly in here, fixing any of these little issues. You can also share it or copy the contents from here too in order to send it off to whoever you need. And by the way, for funsies, I also asked Google AI Studio to do the exact same thing, build that website for me so we could compare visually the differences in the results between Gemini and then Google AI Studio, since it is also using Gemini. I asked it the same thing, I added a couple photos, and here are the results. It's pretty good as well, though it didn't add the requested photos the first time around either. So you can see how there can be some limitations to vibe coding. And while you're here and we're on the topic, let's talk about some pros and cons to vibe coding, because obviously the pros are vast for people like me who can't code. The mere speed and accessibility of vibe coding allows for anyone to build and launch apps, games, and websites. Obviously, it reduces the need for manual coding and it allows for iterative refinement like we saw in our examples. But there are some cons, or at least important things to be aware of when you're vibe coding. As you can see from our examples, your build may not be super robust right off the bat. There could also be security vulnerabilities. So if you're planning on building a website, maybe to sell a product, and maybe you're capturing some confidential personal information, credit card information, and the like, you're going to want to take that into account. And then there's the obvious dependency on AI, meaning that the quality of the final product really depends on its understanding of our prompting. And you really want to make sure you stick to vibe coding visual things, not any proprietary company information. Got it? Happy vibe coding! So that's how to vibe code if you're a beginner. And now I want to hear from you. How have you been vibe coding and what have you created? And what do you think of the experience so far? Let everyone know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, well, I want to know. So give it a like, a share, or you can leave that comment below. You can click right about here to subscribe to my channel and here for even more goodness. Thanks for watching. See you next time.